in the upper right with incredible play, playing better than he ever has before. He is
MVP DongRaeGu.
got the Terminator face on again. Sal Kana in the bottom left. We got our Terran player. He's down, but he could still come back. We'll have to see. He is
State Bomber.
Okay, tasteless.
all right. Artosis.
What do you think? This map going to be a bit better for Bomber? You think that he's going to have like a special strategy or just play his own game and utilize the terrain?
I mean, you know, okay, here's my take on this. If I'm a Zerg a Terran picks this map, and everybody's already talking about how this is a Terran, more of a Terran-y map because of the terrain, I'm going to do everything in my power to make this not a standard game. I'm going to do anything.
So maybe the Roach push or something?
Yeah, or I don't know, something. I mean, something that's just not going to be strong. I would not want to play a standard game on this map.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of if I've ever seen Bomber go mech. I feel like
didn't
no.
You, like, once?
Maybe.
Once, right? But it was like Thor Hellion or something?
It might have been. Yeah, I mean,
right?
that sounds about right. But he's like so not a mecher, because that's one of the reasons why going for that Roach 1-1 with speed attack is so cool. You'll like catch people that overmake Hellions. It's good against mech anyways. But I feel like DRG doesn't even have to do that. You know, I feel like he could actually just play his completely standard game on this map. And that, statistically speaking, based upon how Bomber plays, that wouldn't be a bad call.
Well, you know, here's something else to kind of add that. So on this map, there's basically two routes. There's, let's take it from the Terran's perspective. There's the going from the bottom, right, or to the top, up, and then to the right to get to them. So if you stay on layer tech and go Ling, Zergling, Baneling, you can actually counterattack them endlessly. You are just faster than the Terran.
Especially if you have a creep highway through the center.
Yeah, dude.
You can switch sides in 2 seconds, whereas if you don't have that, it's going to be a little bit longer and Terran can get into position more easily. But yeah, we do see Bomber going for a quick triple CC. In fact, the drone sees it. He's got to kill that drone and cancel both those CCs and add 5 racks.
He adds 2 more ebays and goes for gas a little bit later on while also making an ebay the Zerg's third. Like, it's like, no.
Well, I mean, the DRG has so much intel right now. He can play so greedy himself because there's literally that was a joke about the trick for anyone who didn't catch it. You can't trick DRG from here. He just knows he's safe for a ridiculously long amount of time.
Well, this also alludes to the joke that we had a while ago about trying to come up with the worst possible build orders that could seem smart if you had never played StarCraft 2, and in fact they just don't work. Like canceling your double racks or your triple racks after they see it, canceling 2 of them and making 2 ebays,
and then making the racks right after.
Yeah. Well, he won't expect this 1-1 upgrade either. Yeah, but he would expect about 3 times as many Marines. So.
Which actually negates that upgrade. All right. Well, DRG, let's see what he wants to do in response to this. That's actually what's interesting me here, because for Bomber, everything looks pretty standard, pretty normal. He can't put on any pressure. So from here, DRG, he could do some sort of attack because of the high economy of Bomber, but normally if you wait till you've scouted something like this, you're not going to do it in time. So it's better to just counter this with more of your own economy and then, play from a slight economical advantage against your opponent, as opposed to taking a risk with a wonkily timed all in.
It's a word.
Wonkily, dude.
Wonkily.
All right. So 3 racks is the wall. That would, of course, be very good against any of those wonkily timed all-ins.
Yeah. I mean, if he's not ready for those wonkily timed attacks, he's going to be wonkified, man.
Wonkified isn't a word. What's wrong with you?
I sound like such
Don't
an
make
idiot
things
right
up. Speaking of made-up words, Tasteless.
Yeah?
The new season of Archer started, and I watched the first 3 episodes of it. Oh my god, man, that's the funniest show there's ever been by 100 times. Oh my god.
I gotta see that, actually.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones comes out in a month, right?
That's so sick. Oh my god, my life's getting good. And Heart of the Storm, Game of Thrones, Archer, and I heard the Venture Brothers is coming back. I didn't even know they were still making that.
Yeah, I thought they stopped that a while ago.
Yeah. Have you seen Venture Brothers?
I've seen some of it. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I think Archer's funnier, though.
It is. Well, Archer's the funniest thing ever. Well, now, let's take a look. Yeah, what's going on, Texas?
So we got Ling speed on the way here.
Yeah, and look at
Stem. There's some more Lings coming out here. They're basically just powering up, guys.
Like
There's not going to be an interaction
too.
here for a little bit.
Yeah, DRG going up to 5 queens so he can have 2 out, push and creep at minimum at all times.
Yeah.
He's taking a quick third, double Evo, and a macro hatch all at once. So he's pushing forward his econ very heavily. And it looks like his Evos are just starting the +1/+1 upgrades right before the E-Bays of Bomber. So he'll always at least be on par with upgrades.
Until maybe 3-3 comes. Since
Yeah.
we know that DRG is very comfortable staying with layer tech.
That's
and again,
right.
when we say that, guys, that's not we're not saying that DRG is playing it wrong. It's just a weird way that he plays the game where he'll stay on layer tech for an incredibly long amount of time. And pretty much always have a stronger army than you. It's why we don't normally see your DRG just get pushed and die.
Yeah, it's not so often.
It's usually in a slugfest back and forth.
Or he loses like a silly amount of drones or something.
His units get cornered or something like that.
All right, so we do have the layer on the way. Siege tanks with siege mode as well. A lot of Marines being produced by Bomber. And
Yeah, sure.
It's beginning to look like Christmas because it's snowing on the map, but also it's beginning to look like he's going to do an extremely strong like parade-style push. Maybe. Because he doesn't have that starport, right? He has an insanely good economy, and he has been focusing so heavily on Marine production. And when you see all those things come up, then it's like, well, he actually doesn't need medevacs or need many medevacs to do a lot of damage with the push.
All right, he needs to wall that in. Nicely done. That could have been not tremendously bad, but it would have been annoying.
Learning from his mistakes.
Indeed. By the way, the creep spread's really nice. We're at like 10 minutes, about 10 seconds here, guys, and he's already about a third, considering this map is curved on both sides, about a third across. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he's near the middle at this point, which is pretty sick. And he's definitely going to keep up that creep spread as well. Bomber, on the other hand, he's hard-pressed to push this back. You might be thinking, why isn't he going out and pushing some of this back? Well, he doesn't have Hellions, which are going to be good against Zerglings and can actually fight against them. And he doesn't have Medevacs to go with his Marines because he's delayed that so heavily. So he has no escape route. He can't go up and push back that creep, which actually works into the hands of DRG somewhat. But this is all stuff that Bomber gave up on purpose to give himself a more powerful ground army a little bit later in the game.
Well, looks like we're waiting for the next set of upgrades here for the eBays. And note these guys have both been very passive. The supply here is deadlocked. Is that right? Can I use that word deadlocked? Is that correct? When they're dead even? I don't even know.
I guess I think that you could use deadlocked if like we saw them both at 125 and then they had a battle and they were both 100. Then they both macroed up and hit 150 and then they fought again and went down to 100 or something.
That could be a
I feel like that's more of a deadlock.
I think I'm mixing up the word dead even and gridlocked, actually, is what I'm doing. The supplies are essentially deadlocked here. You know, that also tells us they haven't interacted with each other. Now, Zerg should get a boost here and start to go ahead and supply, as we just saw now. And, you know, one thing you got to keep in mind, though, Bomber's macro is really good. But, yeah, I think Bomber's probably going to wait until he's maxed out. DRG will get another macro hatch, probably expand again, keep upgrading, and we should see the fighting begin.
And, yeah, Bomber actually is making 4 more reactors. So just to let me just count this for a second, because the amount of production that Bomber is about to have for Marines is so frightening. This is actually insane. Okay, so he's about to have 9 barracks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 of which have Marines, which means that he's going to be making something like 16 Marines at a time. So, and Marines build fast, guys, like really ridiculously fast, 25 in-game seconds. So every in-game minute, he can build something like 40 Marines, okay? That's a lot. This is why Bomber's so good at macro. He set himself up like this. Now, DRG has that extra creep.
He's basically maxed out before 14 minutes.
Yeah, they're both.
The next Marine thing is going to come out, yeah.
So this push is about to begin, and it's going to be relentless. It's going to be completely relentless. And this is the standard macro type of game that I was talking about before. Will DRG connect well with his Banelings? That's what it's going to come down to. And in fact, we might see a base trade. I mean, that is a possibility. I think Bomber will turn around likely.
He does. He does just that. Baneling's not coming in here now.
No Baneling speed.
He didn't get Bailing Speed?
No,
Oh, no.
he just started it mid-battle. He's like, oh,
Wait,
whoops.
I thought he was getting it earlier. Did he accidentally cancel or something?
I
thought he
I don't
was.
know.
Am I insane?
Well, it doesn't matter. Oh my God, kills quite a few SCVs there, 18 in total. But that
Wait,
was.
Did he cancel? I swear I thought I saw him make
it could have happened. It could have happened. He might have looked at this and said,
Maybe.
"Oh, you're not attacking for so long. I'll get this later." Then forgot. That happens sometimes.
Yeah, that can happen. That's weird. Okay.
But
let us know on Twitter if you actually did that, guys. I don't want to misinform the audience. I'm Call Me Tasteless, and he's Artosis on Twitter.
Yep.
All right, another attack coming in here now.
Yeah, still no Baneling speed. Just utilizing those Lings right now, and in fact, the tank's not targeting these Banelings whatsoever. And now it's going
base trade.
Oh, a little bit base trade indeed, Tasteless. That base will be taken out.
Lose my base up in here.
Whoa. Well, that is, if he had Baneling speed, that could have gone a lot better. But as is, he may be able to take this base
He could
out.
actually lose the top center. He should evacuate the drones and just make nothing but Bailing. By the way, Bailing speed is about to finish like in a second or two.
Yeah, and watch this flank. This could be brutal. He's actually got this set up pretty darn well from two sides.
All right.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Here we go, Tasteless. A bajillion Banelings coming in and slaughtering off this army so
and he's
far.
not even going to lose the hatchery. DRG suffers really no losses. Now the units are going to target down the Medivacs. Yeah, that's...
Dude, DRG...
That's pretty much... I mean, you really can't recoup from that. He had to at least get the hatchery, and then it could have not normalized, but Zerg would have had its minor lead compared to a massive one. Let me see something here. I've got, what, 79 drones to 42.
Well, he doesn't even have his third base now. You know,
He only has 2 command centers, right? He doesn't have a third
he has a third command center, but it's just sitting in the natural.
Okay.
In fact, does he have a extra? Yeah, it looks like he has one extra too. So he actually has four command centers, just mining from basically nothing. DRG is playing kind of god mode-y, you know?
A little bit.
It's pretty scary. And the 3-3 upgrades for Bomber, as predicted Tasteless, did pass DRG's upgrades. So Bomber's going to have a slight upgrade lead in the next battle. But will that be enough?
That's a negligible advantage, I think.
Yeah, at this point, I think you might be right. Banelings don't care about upgrades
that much. This isn't the spin room here. We're gonna I don't know if those 3-3 upgrades are going to matter against Zerg that's as much, but in fairness,
with the macro
Bomber is very good. Yeah, exactly what I was about to say. Yeah, the macros are very well.
We do have the creep going through the center at this point. DRG's getting ready to be able to hit from everywhere and anywhere.
You know, these little maneuvers like that, taking out those tanks, it makes such a big difference.
Look at those mutas run. What are these, StarCraft 2 mutas? Look how fast they are.
They are. They might be. Those things move so fast now.
They would already be in the back of that main killing off the command center, Tasteless. And then they'd be up here right now. But,
well, you know, he's sieging up. Their Banelings in position now. We're going to have another flanker. Looks like the Banelings are going to finish just in time. This is a freaking good spread. So let's see what happens here. That's about as good of a spread as you can have.
And this is good timing because he does have that extra upgrade. Here we go. The Banelings actually getting split up here, and this attack by Bomber doing a pretty good job of the siege tanks being taken out.
With the mutas actually targeting down the siege tanks. Now, what? There are almost no siege tanks, correct? Or there are none?
There's none in that battle. There's 2 on the map, 2 more about to be made. Yeah, and you know what? He got rid of the Banelings. He got rid of most of the mutas. There is an Ultra Switch. And we do have the upgrades finish up for the chitinous plating as well as +3 melee.
You know, there's 22 Lings on the way here, and the combination of those together is going to be maybe too much to deal with, but we'll see. A few good micro maneuvers here from Bomber, and he's got this.
Yeah, Bomber is doing a great job, man. I mean, he is just showing why he is the macro god of Terran.
And it looks like this hatchery is going to go down. Maybe I spoke too soon.
Well, those Marines can be taken out, but a lot of damage might be dealt here. Just the Banelings going out, though, so not that big a deal.
And he's got to keep his army together. It looks like Marines are going to try to come up here and deny. More Lings coming down here with a Baneling. Banelings actually moving in here. Siege tanks being obliterated, and it looks like the rest of the Terran army is...
That was really all DRG had to do. Hold that base and kill off this army. That was basically it. And, I mean, the Ultras should not be fighting alone, as we say every single time.
They are not. They're actually really support units, guys. Believe it or not, they don't actually operate very well on their own.
No, they don't. They're tough guys, man. They're tough, but only when their friends around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like bros, basically.
Yeah.
They're the Ultralisks are the bros of StarCraft 2.
No?
No.
I think you're right.
Only in their frat house will they pick a fight. With probably the smallest male there.
The Marine.
The Marine, yeah, there you go.
So, I think that DRG has finally broken his back. Bomber was doing a great job during that push, but at this point, there definitely could be too much
Check
here.
the minerals at the top center base for Zerg because he's pushed the creep back, but that's not even going to be a useful expansion. Yeah, he's almost mined that out. So all the creep and all the hard work that Bomber put into this is not really that useful. As you can see, bottom right base taken here. Probably the location Terran's going to want to push here. This is one of the few maps where you don't push towards the Zerg's main due to the architecture of it. And instead, you just keep trying to wipe out the Zerg's expansions.
Yeah, you never really get to the main. That's a good point, unless you're hitting some funny little timing attack where you're going straight to the natural instead of the third earlier. But yeah, from here, it's much different from that. So here we go. We actually do have all these ultras leading in here. Quite a few queens ready to transfuse as well. The Marines being microed very well. There's some Marauders in here, but great fungal growth going down, holding them still. And GG. DRG thrashes Bomber. DRG.
He has not even just thrashed, he has eviscerated Bomber.
Yes, he has eviscerated them with those giant claws of the Ultralisk as if he was a landed Viking. Listen, man, DRG, I might have to, I don't know who I think I said I thought Parting would win the season, but I might have to switch to DRG. DRG is looking so good. Try to remember back to his prime and the way he just had too much and did too much and his mutas were too smart and he won everything. He hasn't lost a game in this GSL yet, I don't think, right?
Well, I mean, what I do know is that he looks so much better than he has before. He's only got Terrans in his group, and if he can play that well against Bomber, I think he can probably get out of his group, but we'll have to see. We're going to take a quick little break, and we'll get back. We've got a TVT for round number 2 here in today's GSL Code S.